right. So what are some of the processes that we're talking about here? Here's just some use case examples for just-in-time data governance. So one, these are kind of weird examples, but let's say a registrar wants to see if there's an existing report showing course section capacity, right? If not, so when they're going to do that, they're going to sort of search for the catalog, right? Then you have access to that and be able to do that search. If not, then maybe they're looking for information to help build their own report. So they didn't find it, maybe then they want to go look in the dictionary, but they have questions. Who are they going to ask? Like, how? You know, I want to say, does anybody know if there's a report? So outside of just the knowledge base, can they interact with someone to help guide them when they can't find what they need? So that searching for information is an important use case example for just-in-time data governance. I need help finding out if something already exists or information for me to build my own thing. Now, if something doesn't exist and they turn out that they don't want to build their own thing, then like this next example, you have an administrator who submits a request for a breakdown of the new admitted cohort by home county, right? So they either, you know, there wasn't something there or they didn't want to build their own, so they've submitted a data request. So this is another point where now we've started governance. So data request processes I'll talk about in a minute, you know, that can seem like it can just be point to point. I'm going to give it to the developer, they're going to give it back to me, but there's a whole bunch of points in there to make sure it's right, to get that developer as much information and all those types of things. So implementing, this is probably the key point where people think about implementing just-in-time governance as part of the request process. And lastly, there's a whole bunch of outcomes of this. Yeah, a faculty member who thinks they are incorrectly classified as an adjunct. Right? Maybe that doesn't happen. Maybe it's very straightforward for people. But so at this point, you know, what do they do? So one thing is that they may report a data quality issue, right? I'm incorrectly classified, right? Someone needs to fix me in the data system. Now it might turn out actually that they're not incorrectly qualified, but you know, according to their database, and according to the data system, the definition of adjunct means this one thing, but this particular faculty member, you know, has two different positions or something, and they're pushing the boundary of that data definition. So as part of that resolution, they might decide, you know what, we're going to change the definition. We're going to make it more inclusive or more restrictive so that they can, you know, they're considered something different. And so then you have to submit a data change request, and that goes through an approval process. So how do you get that ability to make that change as part of this, you know, person making a request? And then lastly, at the end of that, you say, well, is there anyone else who has that problem, so that you can implement sort of a data quality rule to track and monitor that, and to go see what other people are out there, and create a rule for, you know, how people are supposed to be classified and what that means. So all those points are opportunities for just-in-time governance and interaction with the appropriate people. So hopefully that lays down some framework of types of ways and for just-in-time.